Episode 6 of Comp Let Loose. I'm joined with Snow, Sylvia, and Francis. Um, Sylvia, glad to have you back. Francis, thank you for joining for the first time. And Snow, I mean, you're kind of co-hosting this with me now, so you'll be here for everyone. Um, but jumping right into it, Francis, um, to me at least, it almost seems like you're kind of the ringleader of some of the main names that have come from the seventh, and then went to Grandma's, and then you guys rebranded to WTG, and then now you guys rebranded again. So
Yeah.
knowing the personalities that you have under you, how has that been kind of managing them? Because it seems like you guys are a pretty you guys are a group of people, or at least a group that people enjoy hating. So how is it like kind of managing those big personalities within the Hell Let Loose comp scene?
Listen, like all the guys that are in the clan, I think have pretty much a lot of them have very good relations with them. Like maybe they're toxic towards other. I try to calm them down sometimes, but yeah, like for the most part, they're very nice guys. Big personalities for some of them, but listen, like this game sometimes you need big personalities, like in your command chat or whatever. You need those big personalities sometimes. But yeah, it's been a good mix, to be honest, so far.
Yeah.
Of course, a lot of rebranding. We started like GMAS was just like a startup name because, listen, it was the big panic when the nuke happened. So it was just a startup name. After that, WTG, a lot of the guys didn't like it. So yeah, like pretty sure we're gonna stick with this one at least for 3 weeks. So I'm
Yeah.
happy for that. At least now we have
So
a nice logo. So yeah, that's a good start.
So that's actually something that I wanted to ask you is what's up with all these like rebrandings that you guys have been going through? Like was the grandmas and then WTG and then now what you guys are have like grandma and WTG just kind of been like a meme almost, or was that something that you guys like really wanted to stick with, and then new ideas just kind of formed, and you wanted to
Uh,
rebrand now a third time within 2 weeks?
WTG was more of a meme name, to be honest. You could see with like with the emblem was a shout out
Horrifying.
Alvari,
Yeah, it was
shout
like
out
a
Alvari
fever
Palmer.
dream.
Yeah, was more of a meme. Like me, to be honest, clan name I couldn't care less.
Mhm.
Numbers or sentence, like I couldn't care less. So if it makes the guys happy, I'm happy. And
Mhm.
most of them are happy. Like we do a clan-wide vote for that. Same with WTG, but new faces came in. Some didn't like the name, rightfully so. Everyone likes shit and doesn't like the other stuff. But yeah, like I think the Legion is quite nice, and a lot of the guys are happy with that. And a big shout out for Tony and Bart to do two very nice logos for us, which again we will most likely stick with maybe 3 weeks. Well, actually, well, actually, like we still weren't sure. That's why we didn't register yet in TPL. We still weren't sure with WTG. Now we register with the Legion, so yeah, it's better now.
Yeah.
We're gonna stick with it.
So I'm guessing with your new name being Legion, is that kind of paying homage to where you guys have come from, being the Seventh Legion?
Mhm, mhm. Like fuck, Seven Legion. I was with them. It's my only clan I played with. So yeah, like it's an homage. Of course, it didn't end in good favors, but a lot of things in life don't end well. So yeah, it's a bit of an
Yeah.
homage, and a lot of the guys still felt attached to that. So yeah, I'm
Mhm.
happy for them.
That
Yeah.
that goes into my question. Everyone hears your name through like your Discord and everything. Also, guys, I hope you guys can hear me a lot better than normal. I'm
We
using
can.
headphones this time. Um, a lot of people know the name Francis, but like, tell us, there's a lot of people here that has never heard your voice before, that's never really talked to you as a person, more of just a fucking Discord person, and people like, they see your name and they associate it with fucking bullshit So, as a person, man, how did you start? How did you come into the clan scene? How did you get to seventh? What was your transition? And then talk about your new team and the new steps that you're going to change.
To be honest, when I got into the 7, I was quite lucky. I think I was like level fucking 80. Went into a pub match, tried to join a squad with level 300s, 200. Like it was Krigus, Intac Ambition, Wolf, and Ashibamp, who is an OG of the 7. Like all of the guys that were the leaders at that time. And they liked my accent, so they took me in. I wasn't Discord active, so I got kicked out. After that, by Backpack, who is now I'm good friend with him. But yeah, after that I rejoined, and yeah, I think I made a name for myself as a good and a reliable player. And yeah, like when Backpack left, like he was mainly the main portion of the 7. He was basically doing the strat sketch, like a lot of the shit. Of course, shout out to Gold Star, who was a monster in scheduling as well, and other guys. But so yeah, when I came in, I want to say I stepped up. I stepped up with a good friend of mine, Tunda. We stepped up to like revamp what the 7 was doing. Tunda had to work a lot, so I mainly took the lead for that. And yeah, like I think that's where when I more started to have a name for myself. And yeah, like we did a good 360 for our season 3 for TPL and even Summit, I'd say, even though we lost.
Yeah.
Silva, man, how's it going, buddy? I don't think we've personally met before, but it's good to finally meet you, man. 4AD's been a team that's been around a long time, in my opinion. How long have you been with them?
So 4AD as a whole, about 8 months now. We're still kind of newish in that sense. But the core group of some of our guys, well, at least I did, I started several years ago with 15 PG. So our original units original numbers came from 15 PG and then the break off of 11 PZ. So, but 4AD is about 7 or 8 months old now.
Yeah.
I got you.
So how was it? I mean, for the people that follow TFL, and we, Snow especially, definitely got a lot of messages about it. But that game that we played, obviously, you know, you guys ended up going ahead and winning that game 3-2. But what was the mindset going into that game? How were the vibes during the game, and then how was it after the game?
So we definitely were going into it knowing that we were going to have to, play it tough. We were playing a tough team. We went into it knowing that it was going to be tough. Really, it was one of those things where we had to really focus on our core tactics. We didn't want to see anything fall apart. So it was stressful going into it. I think everybody was expecting at least not necessarily a win, but definitely a loss at a competitive reversal. So a 3-2 loss. That's just being realistic, knowing that you guys have some good shooters and good tactics, and you guys have been around longer. But once we got in it and we started to see what kind of traction we were able to make, and even though we had some setbacks after capping middle point, there was like a key point where we were able to kind of dig our heels in and reestablish some garrisons, and that really turned around the match. And then that was the point where I think in that last 10, 12 minutes that really flipped the script for everybody.
So one thing I just want to get some clarification on, because obviously just like pretty much every team out there, after the game, we have a call. We talk about, what happened and losses, like, what went wrong, what could we have done better. Just to clarify, that like last 12 minutes, like you said, where you guys eventually ended up in going and recapping mid. Um, how much were you guys pushing from the south side, or at least like the bottom of the map?
So, oddly enough, I remember getting one or two garrisons up in just a matter of a few minutes. And actually, our commander, whose uncle, I believe he popped a recon plane, and or actually, I think we saw that those garrisons that were on the line of scrimmage, if you will, were all green, but all of our outposts were warm, so we knew there was a heavy presence right there on our defensive side. And I think it was a universal, like, they haven't taken it yet, and there's a lot of people here. Why don't we just Hail Mary this and start sending people for the front? And then I think just a couple squads ended up going up front, putting their weight on the cap, or their cap weight on. And then after, I think, some strategic strikes, that ended up working in our favor, and that kind of snowballed the effect.
Yeah, because the reason I ask, and kind of going through that game a little bit more in depth, the way that we capped mid the first time after you guys held it for seemingly like 45 minutes was honestly bullshit. How we did it, Snow literally just dropped an airhead right in the center of your point, and it worked. We were able to spawn. We were able to spawn everybody with, and it wasn't even like protected by a bombing run or whatever. I just see an airhead going down, and then I see it land. And I mean, yeah, it was warm, but it was there for an entire, was it like 45-second spawn wave that like the countdown starts when it touches down. It was warm for all 45 seconds, but you guys, I guess, didn't see it, and we're like, "There's no way. There's no way this is working."
took off. I took out Gary that landed on. I called it in and laid beside it for the duration of it. I think I got 11 kills off that, just trying to defend the area. I don't know how it worked, man.
I'm like, there's no way that this is working. But when we were able to get it, and we got our foothold, I was playing that southern defense, below the point. So that's kind of like why I asked how much pressure you guys got from there, because I had a garrison up. I had my OP on the red-blue line, and I was chilling. And then when the points started to go between contested to losing to we're defending, I don't know if I did it prematurely or not, but I pulled my squad back and collapsed to point, and you guys played it perfectly. I mean, all the props to I don't know if it was just a strike of luck or if that is something that you guys are working on, but as I was giving up ground on the southern side, you guys were taking it. And it seemed like once I got onto point and we were, fighting tooth and nail on point, I knew you guys had to have some sort of garrison or something in the area that I literally just left, and I could never get back to it. So, I mean, I know that more established teams want to say like, oh, 4AD is a bunch of shitters because they're not, around, or they haven't been around for all that long. But I mean, you guys played phenomenally, in my opinion.
I definitely underestimated you guys. I mean, talking from a leader perspective and just the atmosphere of the team, definitely underestimated you guys. We beat you in a summit playing game. We were feeling good. I mean, I'll be straight up with you and no bullshit. But it humbled us when you guys took mid, and everyone was really chill, like almost too chill in command chat. And I'm just like, guys, they have a really good point to hold. Like, this is going to be a pain in the ass. And then about 15, 20 minutes went by, and everyone started like buckling their heads together, and we were throwing and throwing and throwing. I honestly, that's why I say we choked, is because I made a mistake, and some of my squad leaders did as well. It's just, I don't think we weren't expecting the massive Hail Mary push, and two, the pressure that we were getting on the defense, we didn't realize it was as big as it was. And normally when you take away from your defense, we're able to make ground, but your defense players are doing such a good job. We were kind of stalemated at the north, still trying to take forward. We got greedy, and by that time, man, our network was gone. Everything was gone. You drove a panther right through the point. I mean, at that point, it's like, holy fuck, what the fuck just happened? So got to give you guys credit.
Well, I
Yeah.
appreciate that. We definitely have learned a lot of lessons. We've been scrimming with Francis and the seventh guys, and so we knew going into this league, playing against teams like you, that we were going to have to get some practice in, and 3-5 has been one of those teams that we scrimmed with pretty regularly as well as 508, 101, and so we knew we were going to need shooters. But one thing that we've learned is that if you don't do your timing properly with your attacks and defense, and honestly, shout out to our defense because they really held on. They really put in the time and the work that game because those garrisons were going down just as quick as we were putting them up. It seemed like, but we definitely have learned how much of a bite you can take off and still be able to swallow and chew. But I tell you, it doesn't matter that the script can just flip in a second. So.
Yeah. So this is both for you, Sylvia, and Francis, kind of to get a conversation started between you two. So, Sylvia, you said that, and you kind of alluded to this the last time you were on, talking about how you guys have been doing a lot of scrims against the seventh and everything. Kind of going into the scrims expecting a loss, but you guys are learning a lot. So obviously, it is a huge benefit for you guys to be playing a team like the seventh, because they're always teaching you new things. They're always attacking from different angles, and kind of giving you things that you need to work on. But Francis, for you, being at one point in time in the seventh, scrimming a team like 4AD, knowing pretty much beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're going to win that scrim. What is the benefit that the seventh gets from scrimming a team that they know walking in they're going to beat?
Well, one of the benefits, it's I know I don't want to sound I don't know, like it benefits both teams. Like on our end, we can practice openers, practice how we want to control the map, which area to control, and on the other end, like it practice the other team. Like the end of the day, like I really want NA like to fucking stumpy you. Like I want NA like to be on top, and like I think screaming more like of the like LGN now is like a benefit in terms of you can ask Snow or anyone. Like I'm willing to trade advice, like say things from my perspective after the match to what the other team can improve. Like and yeah, like just for example, Sylvia, like when we faced for you guys in Utah Beach, you guys had a beautiful opener on WN4, and you guys had to make us work to get it back. We needed to recap it, and yeah, like it benefits us, like both of us, because at the end of the day, practicing those first 20-25 minutes into a let-loose game is the most important. The opener is the most important, so yeah, it's benefit for both of the teams.
So it's interesting that you said that, because I was actually going to ask that question, and then you just kind of answered it. But this kind of goes for all of you guys, and then you can kind of explain why. But in a competitive game, obviously it's 90 minutes. Whether you play the full 90 minutes or not, that's kind of up to a multitude of different factors. But Francis, I'll start with you because you just answered it. You said that the most important time in a comp game is the opening, 20 minutes. Why do you say that?
Uh, because like it's the opener. First of all, like the point is uncontested, so either way it can go both sides. And why do you extend it from 20 minutes is when you get those first heavy tanks up, if they can stay alive, if they can like have good peaks to launch HEs to eventually support your infantry to do a coordinated push.
So
Yeah.
so what separates the great teams from the good teams, I guess, in their approach of the first 20 minutes?
I'd say it's being patient, and that depends on the team and depends on the point. Especially now with server browser, we can coordinate this even better. But going for map control of the opener is so important, in my opinion. You go for map control, that guarantees you that you have leeway with those first 20 to 30 minutes. If you're going for the map control, you're eventually choking them. Basically, I'm gonna use for AD match as example into WN4. Control them over the south, control them over the front line, red blue line, and yeah, eventually you choke them into the point and you cap it with your revis helping you. Yeah.
So you're completely comfortable with almost deferring that midpoint to the enemy team as long as you can establish map control?
Uh, I wouldn't say like because map control is OPs, like it's OPs. So like map control depends on the OPs you have and the spread you take with them. So of course you want most of your guys into like the OPs that are rushing, let's say WN4. You want most of their guys over there, but you still have the spawn options going over more of the south towards Chapel for map control. Like I'd say it's a mix of the two. And especially now again with the server browser, it depends because some maps you can give up a point to eventually retake, but yeah, it depends. I'd say.
Yeah. Sylvia, what about you? So kind of to reiterate that question, you guys have been getting more and more comp experience, and obviously, you guys are getting there to being, a pretty good team. I mean, you beat the eighth. Whether the community thinks of the eighth as a good team or not, you guys still beat them. So, in your opinion, what would you say is the most important time in a comp game?
So I would really say the first 20 minutes is definitely the most important. But regardless of that, as long as you're able to maintain a good position on that middle point, I mean, it takes the game mostly comes down to the last 2 minutes.
Absolutely.
The last 5 minutes, and not necessarily say that you should wait on that ability to hopefully cap in the last 5 minutes, but one thing that I tell my guys, and I do this pretty much every match, is I'll give a mental clock, right? I'll remind everybody where we're at with the clock. Because time, you lose track of it as soon as you get into it. And so one of the things that I like to do is remind my guys, like, hey, we've got 15 minutes. If we're doing something, we need to lock it in and do it in the next 5 so we can hold this. And one of the things, too, I think, like Francis said, is that sector control or the sector control, the map control, however you want to run it, it does you no good to cap right off the rip if you're not going to set up. Just the same, if you're not set up for capping it or you don't have a smooth plan at that point, it doesn't matter whether or not you cap it because it's very difficult to maintain it.
Right.
I've actually had some really successful games where we fought over middle for a long period of time. And in that time, that tug of war for middle, all your guys are staying on the cap weight, but you're also building up your rear to all your defenses, and then you're working on map control. And 9 times out of 10, what I've seen is if it's a stalemate for too long, the whole line of scrimmage ends up being a fight. Because everybody's fighting to get those key sectors under control. So I would definitely say the first 20, 25 minutes is key, but that last 15 minutes, if you don't have things under control at that point, you need to make some moves real quick.
Yeah. So I would personally agree. The opener is definitely something that's super important. Now, in a perfect world, you would be able to not only, cap mid, but kind of like you were saying with the tug of war over mid while you're building up your backline and everything. That's definitely something that I think separates the great teams from the good teams. Because, good teams, they will focus absolutely everything they have on capping mid without even worrying about their blue neutral garrisons and everything. I also think OP placement in that tug of war is also super important, and then also getting supplies off of those OPs. So as soon as you cap mid, you have a garrison. You have multiple garrisons around the point. You're ready to go down. But yeah, that's something that I definitely think is super important. Snow, I don't know if you missed
Sorry.
No, you're
I was
good.
listening.
So in your experience as commander of the 8th, what would you say in a 90-minute comp game is the most important section of that game? You know,
The very
in your
beginning.
opinion.
The very beginning, hands down. A bad start leads to a bad game. A game that you could probably win in 50 minutes turns into an hour and a half. No offense to 4AD, but I mean that's a good representation of how a bad start can lead to a bad game. Like we felt like we were getting more kills, we were winning some of the gunfights, but man, if you can't execute in the game itself, then what the fuck's the point?
Mm-hmm.
So definitely got outplayed doing that. So and the 3-5 game as well. So definitely the beginning of the game, getting a good start, and then maintaining. I think probably the first 30 minutes really, because the first 30 minutes you're getting your midpoint or you're counterattacking to get the midpoint right back, because that's when you're the most vulnerable,
Mm-hmm.
and then setting up where you're going to be defending, because you can't jump immediately to offense, you'll lose the point immediately.
Yeah.
So you have to be wise and make sure you set the point up.
Yeah. Snow, did you want to go into the rankings?
We'll wait till later. I'll do ask you your bloopers and everything. I lost
Okay.
time on how long we've been here because I had to load out. But
26
did you get
minutes.
my graphic?
Yeah, I did. It's doing the same thing where it's saving
That's
stupidly,
fine.
so I'm just gonna share it the way I did last time.
That's fine.
Did you have any questions? Any more questions lined up for these guys?
Kind of. So, what is your guys' goals? You guys being in the Freedom League right now, it's a brand new North American league. What is the goals that you guys set in your head, like where you want to be in, like, say, 3 weeks, 3 months, kind of your end goals?
So one of the things that we've sought out to do was to definitely make a name for ourselves. We want to be able to compete with the top tier teams. And that's the end goal for sure. We knew it was going to be a long process, a lot of trial and error. Our first kind of debut was in Summit 3, and we did surprisingly well. I think we did a lot better than we expected. That's just a combination of hard training and dedication from my guys. All of them put in countless amount of hours of work, training, and those guys just were ready to do it. I mean, they came out swinging, and proud of them for it. And then this season, we kind of saw this as an opportunity again to really kind of play at the ideal times, ideal time zones and server zones that would work for us. I think we had the conversation last time. Snow, you weren't there, but one of the things that we struggled with was competing with European teams on an odd time schedule on an odd server. And I mean, I don't care how good you are. If you're getting 150 ping versus a team who's got 50 ping, you're shooting ghost, you know? I mean, it doesn't work. So we, not to say that we were not going to lose those, because I definitely think we were out of our league with some of those guys, but I think it would have been a lot bigger of a fight if we were able to actually compete on a more level ground, but I digress.
I fully agree. How long have you guys been around? We started in February, really, the comp side anyway.
We have been around now for right at about 8 months, if I'm thinking of that correctly. Time kind of flies, and I don't even know what day it is, honestly. I just know I have Monday off, and that's great. But yeah, I mean, we're still a newer crowd. We're a newer unit, so.
Absolutely. And Francis, go ahead, Winters. No. You're good.
Well, I was pretty much just going to ask the same question to Francis. Francis, coming from the 7th, where seemingly you guys were almost in the same upward trajectory that the 6th is in, where you're winning pretty much everything that you guys enter. Being in the 7th, you guys have kind of completed almost everything there is to complete, at least on the comp side. So now that the whole 7th situation happened, and then the whole rebranding, you guys getting a new influx of players, what are your guys' goals? Is it essentially just maintaining what you guys have already done in the past, like winning TPL, winning Summit, and stuff like that?
Uh, to be honest, with the new stuff, like again, server browser, like against great team, like there's so many now great teams. Like you mentioned the six, which is a amazing team, very good team with Malarkey, Backpack, and a lot of awesome guys over there, Wilco. Um, and there's plenty of good other teams, you know, like so it's it's really gonna depend on the points. And I know some of my guys are not happy that I say that, but yeah, like it plays such a huge factor. But yeah, I'd say we have big aspirations, but we have to keep it realist that it's fucking let loose, so anything can happen. Listen, like we've lost matches the last season that some of us would have never expected to lose, but we still lost them, you know. So it's about being realist, never being overconfident, and yeah, always work hard and to compete, you know. And yeah, I don't say there's really a goal. Of course, we want to compete, and yeah, I'd say that's the main goal, to compete.
So, of all the teams in the comp scene, who would you say it would be your biggest challenge?
I'd say Chilili. Chilili are
Really?
yeah, they're very nice guys, very good team. Like Chile are very good, very good. They they got unlucky with West Ben as a draw. I'm sure we would have won regardless, but yeah, like they're a very good team. HLE and the six, two very good teams.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say like HLE has the best EU players and six has the best Oceania players. You know, so yeah, they form a very big threat. You know.
Yeah. So kind of shifting away from that, now that the server browser is out and you guys have had, an opportunity to test that out, what are your guys' like first impressions, and how do you think that is affecting the ability to negate, sometimes hour-long burns before a game? This is open to whoever wants to go ahead and answer first.
Go ahead, Sylvia. Go ahead, Sylvia.
So I think one of the things that I'm most excited about is seeing if we will have the opportunity to pick a battle and pick sides. That actually would be the most cool thing, is if we could teams decide on who they wanted to play, or like what place they wanted to play as what faction, and then get to actually plan how they want to see that battle go out, just like the real thing. Way the military works is you don't just run into an operation without a plan, and so I think that would be really cool to have about a week's time to plan and do your homework and find out what spots are the best spots and how you want to fight. I think that would be really cool.
Oh yeah, I agree with you, Sylvia. Like last season, I spent way too much time doing PowerPoints to explain every freaking midpoint of every freaking map. So now knowing the map in advance would save my guys sometimes.
So there's some things I can tell you exactly the two things that TFL at least is going to be voting on. I would just have to find the message, but I know something that at least I brought up, and whether or not it's something that gets done, but since we're here, it's kind of the whole point, just to get open feedback from not only you guys but from the guys in the chat. I thought of something, and kind of, Francis, like what you were saying, not having to spend, 2 hours on a strat sketch going over every single point. Being the host of a lobby, you can set the points on the map as well. So you can pick, what you want every single point on the map to be. So something that I thought of was, what if, days in advance, the teams flip for the map, and then the two opposing teams going into a comp, say, they're playing on Saturday, they decide Tuesday or Wednesday, on the map that is picked, the teams get to pick their fourth and fifth point, and then the midpoint be random, or at least the midpoint be a flip. That way, the teams can spend time specifically coming up with strategies on how to defend, their 2 friendly points without knowing, with still the random, midpoint where you have to adapt on the fly. But I thought it would kind of be a cool idea to be able to pick your 2 defending points, like I said, so you can strategize exactly how you want to defend those points. But I've definitely gotten a lot of back and forth feedback on that, so I just wanted to see what you guys had to think.
You want to go first, Sylvia?
I definitely see the benefit of that. It's one of those things where there's, I feel like, a bit of strategy that comes with having a defensive point that works in your favor, as well as maps. I mean, I think if you were to do it fairly, if there was a 100% way to make that fair, I could definitely see how that would be really fun and beneficial.
On my part, I agree. I like the idea, Winters. The only thing is that if you pick 4th in advance, and after that you flip for 3rd point, you can have a point, let's say, all the way north to the map.
Yeah.
And the 3rd point all the way south of the map, so that could cause issues.
Unless, and there's always tweaking. Now, something that I can see is depending on, there's so many different things that you would have to tweak about that. Like, if you were to pick, say, your 4th and 5th point in a line, then I could see the mid only being flipped between either being in the center of the map or being in line with your objectives. Because if you were to pick, say, the bottom of the map, and then the other team was to pick the top of the map, and again, this is just saying the 4th and 5th points being in a line. If one team was to pick the bottom of the map, and the other team was to pick the top of the map, then it kind of locks to where mid has to be in the middle, to where it's even on both sides. Now, if both teams were to, say, pick their points on the same line, like both on the bottom of the map, then I could see only flipping between it either being in the middle or the bottom, to where every objective is in line, kind of like it is on Foy, seemingly every time I play on that map.
Yeah, or like maybe like you flip for, like you say, like you go through the map eliminations, and after that you take your the midpoint, and after that you decide the 4th and 5th. Yeah, I think that's what you were saying. Actually.
Like for tomorrow, we already know what point we're having tomorrow. We haven't decided our 4th point or our 2nd. I mean, but like tomorrow against Legion, we're playing Chapel in Utah. Their access were American, and then they're gonna have, was it Sunken Bridge?
Yeah, exactly.
As your 2nd point.
Yeah.
Yep. So we already know ahead of time where we're going to be playing, how we're going to be playing, and that way a team like we were talking about earlier. Oh, Jesus fuck! Sorry, I'm laughing in here because I'm reading the chat too.
Yeah.
So a lot of shit's funny as fuck, dude. Seeing Vader say, "Fucking dude looks like he's about to wrangle some cows." This had me dying. But it is a lot that goes into it, especially with these top tier teams. They really break down exactly the truck route, the routes that you're going to be taking, the routes that you need to hold, the power corners of the map. So having that in advance is really going to change the way teams prepare. And then I expect a lot of upsets, in my opinion, just because a team like Merc or who knows would maybe not prepare as much as maybe a lower team, and then all of a sudden they get out coordinated, overlooking somebody, kind of like how we did.
In my mind, the reason why I kind of thought, and I found actually what TFL is going to be, I'm assuming it would be the owners, what they would be voting on. So I'll get to that after I say this. But my thought process behind being able to pick your points is if you can pick your defending points days in advance and really strat sketch focusing on one particular point, I think that would lessen the amount of 5-0 victories that there are. Not saying that it's going to become impossible, but it would lessen the amount that there are. But then also when there are 5-0 victories, it makes it that much more impressive because you beat a team who has planned for days on how to defend those points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it will reduce the time, like you said, for those long strat sketches. I can relate to my guys, like, dude, I did like maybe 2 hour sessions per week
Yeah.
sometimes, you know, like long and time consuming even for me. So yeah, like it will reduce that time and yeah, make it more competitive knowing that. But there's good opinions on both sides, you know, like I know a lot of guys who likes to keep it random, like having that with me, it's just I'm speaking from a preparation perspective, you know,
Right.
and yeah, I like it more picking the points and not necessarily the points but the maps.
So,
I agree, Francis.
and then Sylvia, I'll get your opinion on this too, but what TFL is going to be voting on is option A, which is pretty much keep everything random. So exactly what was said was keep objectives random and verify with screenshot. Or option B, flip for who chooses the third objective, so who chooses mid, and then allow each team to pick their first and second, or fourth and fifth objectives. So essentially, you're gonna flip for who decides or who's going to decide where they want the midpoint to be, and then allow each team to pick their fourth and fifth point. Which the only part of that I don't like is the fact that a team gets to pick what midpoint would be. I would rather midpoint be the random part and then allow the teams to pick their first and second or their fourth and fifth point.
You can't. Archon, sorry to jump in, but you can't. You either pick them all or you don't pick any.
Okay.
I don't think people realize that either. I mean, you can tell them in advance, like, hey, this is what it randomly says. These are going to be the points. But you can't go in there and say, well, this point's going to be this, this, and this. This one's going to be random. It just doesn't work that way.
Well, I mean, I think that you can still do it, though. Maybe not, like, on the game itself make it random, but you can still put, like, you can even do it on the internet. You get, like, go to, like, the spinning wheel, fucking website or whatever. Type in the names of the 3 points and then have it spin the wheel. And then verify with the league rep on what that wheel chose to be random, and then match the league rep, sees like, okay, this is what the point was picked. You load into the game, verify with a screenshot that the game shows what the random generator selected, and then you guys are good to go. So there are ways, but I can see what you're saying, that it's not able to do it. It's just a little bit more setup.
Yeah, I think you'll go ahead. Sorry, Silva.
Well, I think the easiest thing and the most fair thing would be a series of just coin flips. So a coin flip for who's active and ally, a coin flip for map, and then leave it random at that.
That's what I agree with.
Because I think the two things that are the best tests of skill is obviously people have better weapons that they're more comfortable with. Personally, I'm better with American weapons than most of my unit would agree that they're better with German weapons. The MP40, in my opinion, I can't use it for shit. Thompson, I can hit somebody from 120 yards, but
I'm the opposite.
Yeah, and it just is like that. I mean, sometimes I shoot the MP40 and it feels like an airsoft gun. But I think choosing faction and then choosing map is two things that would work to both benefits for both teams if done strategically and done correctly. And if you're a good enough team, I think you should still be able to overcome any of that. Of course, I think if you have like a certain map and then you opt and get, you choose American or German, I feel like certain maps definitely can sway that, especially if you have like Foy with a certain map middle point. That's the difference between fighting in woods and fighting in open field. So
yeah. Yeah, I think the one point that people don't want to see, especially playing as allies, is Hurtgen Forest and midpoint be Scar. I would rather like drink an entire bottle of fucking 800 milligram ibuprofen and then go jump out a window than play a comp game against a good team seeing Scar as the allies.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, I tell you what, hot take. I think, I don't know if we've talked about this on here, was the artillery usage for PC, where it's the constant arty. Did we talk about that last time? I know I'm against that. I think it throws off the dynamic.
The one unkillable arty.
Yeah,
So I know that was talked about before, or like before TFL started, and that was taken to a vote, and that was shot down rather quickly.
Yeah.
I think it's a really dumb idea to do that because I mean, there's a benefit to recon because then they can have both recon teams focus on hunting garrisons and attacking points. Then some teams have a recon team that's all 90 minutes dedicated to just harassing Artie. Then you have some teams that play hybrids, like they're like, they'll hop in red chat and they're like, hey, is Artie bothering you guys? Yes, okay, we'll go back there. If not, then they're going hunting for nodes or whatever. I think it's almost as dumb as something else that was brought up was not allowed to, or you weren't allowed to take down nodes.
Yeah.
Dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Right.
It's note like keeping your nodes up is almost, if not as important as keeping garrisons up, in my opinion. At least from a commander perspective. If you don't have nodes up, then you really can't do shit to support the team.
Correct.
Can I be the devil's advocate there?
Go ahead.
Like the reason PC went with those rules is literally because artillery defense was getting ridiculous, and I know myself, I'm gonna make it ridiculous as well. Like sniping, like finding peaks, snipe party from 1500 meters with a tank. I'm already doing it, Like it's gonna get to that point, like of freaking ridiculous, like building it, like having 10 guys building your RT, destroying trucks. It's gonna get to that point eventually, in my opinion. If we don't go through that route, of course we can always test it and see what happens, with it. But I already know myself, like I'm I'm already finding spots. And I found one for you, Snow, tomorrow.
and Snow, we'll get to you so you can answer this. But even in our game, kind of like what you were saying with the lengths that teams will go to keep their RD up. I've seen teams dedicate like all the way up to like a freaking panther just patrolling around the Artie to protect it. But we played a scrim against 3-5 Wednesday, and I'm sure this is a common practice, but they were taking like the auto spawned transport trucks and stuff like that, or they were probably even spawning transport trucks throughout the game since you essentially don't really need them. They were spawning them and stacking them on top of one another to create a wall of transport trucks just on top of one another to protect it.
Yeah, it's really insane some of the things that they do. I've heard from my recon guys, like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do with that. They had a wall built with supply trucks, and I'm like, what? But they just stack supply trucks on top of each other and make a wall around it. I'm just like, what the hell? But Francis, you make a really good point, and that was something that we talked about within our unit, was just the links at which people are going to exploit the normal ways in this game. I mean, we're already seeing now, just like you said, we've seen the rocket snipes, the tank snipes, the unkillable Artie being a thing because Artie's just overpowered sometimes. We've even seen... Yeah, we've also seen, and I don't know if you guys are all aware, but how this new thing with keeping tanks alive and having them with repair stations. And I mean, is it exploits? Is it taking advantage of a system? Yes. Is there a certain point where we're going to take a step back and be like, all right, at this point, we're just Minecrafting this thing and we're just modding, at this point. So it does rule the question how much is too much of making things work.
Oh yeah, like
I
have some
Francis.
freaking PC POVs of guys that 2 years ago when they were playing with the same rules that we had, the same rule set, like it was ridiculous, man. Like absolute, like medium tanks like just getting exploded just for like to protect the RT. Same with Lux, and because people and figure out ways to snipe RT from their HQ.
Francis has showed me a video of that motherfucker on, I think it was Omaha, shooting from the HQ all the way to the other side of the map and hitting the arty gun.
Oh yeah, yeah. That the German rocket, man, it's basically a cruise missile if you can do it right.
With a
They
tank.
fucking use
With a
tanks
tank.
with a
Oh,
tank.
yeah,
They
yeah.
arch it over the fucking mountain of the beach and will hit the arty. It's the
Yep.
craziest shit.
Now Sylvia, like you said, with the Panzerschreck being almost like a cruise missile, I've had Dirty Grunt sent me some videos of him rocket sniping. I mean, anything from garrisons to artillery from over 1,000 meters away with the Panzerschreck. I'm like, dude, like you're perfect for won't touch grass because obviously you're not touching grass if you can do shit like that. Like
Dirty Grunt, Pookie's another good one that can do it.
I have
Pookie
I have some shit from Pookie to show you guys here in a little bit once we get into the graphics. Once we're done with this,
We're good to go ahead and do it if you like. Then we can do the rankings at the end.
So we'll start with some highlights and bloopers. So for you guys that are in it and for you guys that aren't in it, from the help of Snow, Twiggy, Cloth, and Elemental from Spam, we created a Comp Let Loose Discord. And that's kind of like your one-stop shop for everything regarding, the podcast. There's a general chat in there. There's a ticket system for guest requests, whether you want to be a guest or you know of somebody you would like to see on the show. There's another thing that I made a requirement because I had to setting up the onboarding bot was a highlights and bloopers channel. So when people join, the onboarding bot tells you that you have to post a video in those two channels. You don't. I didn't want to make it, too hard to even get into the Discord. So all you have to do is just go into the channel and then come right back out, and it clears you. But some of the people did post highlights and did post bloopers. And the reason for that is because I can download those videos and show for the podcast. So I have 3 highlights in here, and I have 2 bloopers. The bloopers are pretty embarrassing. One of them can be considered both a highlight and a blooper, so I'll let you guys decide. But when I play these videos, whether you're on PC or your phone, it'll pop up a new window, kind of like what we're in. You guys should be able to just click on that window and maximize it if you want. If not, it'll still be large enough for you guys to just watch it as is. But this first one is a highlight that was submitted by Pookie. So we'll go ahead and So
I hope he ain't playing tomorrow.
Good news for you, Snow is not.
Yeah, so even just playing that first one, I just wanted to real quick say, I appreciate everyone for actually participating in that channel. It's something that I wanted to do early on, but it was actually, I think it was Plem from 508 told me, kind of pump the brakes, let the channel grow a little bit before you do that. But now that it is set up and everything, I appreciate the people submitting their videos so I can do stuff like this. And it's also cool because, I mean, I'm getting, 300 plus views once it posts on YouTube. So that's a good way to get, 300 people plus seeing your highlights. So it's definitely something that I encourage everyone to do. This next one is from Virginia. This is what I said could be considered a highlight or a blooper. I'll let you guys decide.
What the fuck, bro?
So obviously that's a highlight from Virginia. Blooper for whoever the hell blind mouse that was shooting at him.
In the person's defense, that was a grease gun, so you might as well be using. God only
rocks.
knows. I would rather
Rocks.
be using harsh language and a super soaker. Okay. So
Now,
I get
okay,
it,
so
but the spin move was nasty.
So
That's uncalled for.
it's easy to laugh at whoever that poor unfortunate soul that probably should delete the game is, but have you guys ever been on that end where you have someone that's right in front of you and you're missing every single shot?
Of course.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I've even had one of those moments like Saving Private Ryan. I mean, mag dumped, whip out the pistol, mag dump again, and I'm just ready to take the helmet off and throw it at it. And the best part is we both realized it. We both came to the conclusion, like, what do we do now? Like,
You just
it was
turn and go your separate ways.
yeah. I mean, what do you do, man? Like, I just wanted to uninstall this game. I was like, damn.
So next one is from God's Gift. This is listed as a highlight.
On the creek to my south. Of course, I have my map open.
I'm almost in their point.
There's one on the
Dude.
there's one on the building.
Man.
Gonna get there, Garrison. Fuck.
Oh yeah, Hans is good, man.
I mean, that's impressive. Like, that particular spot on that map is like the enemy is just funneled at you. You've got to land your hits, and obviously it helps, especially when you have a Gewehr or a Thompson a Garand that's just a one shot. But obviously, excellent skill comes in play with that. That was solid.
Yeah, can you imagine trying to do that with a Car 98?
Absolutely not.
I know. Why
I mean,
you
I would take the
do
car.
it.
I would take the Car 98 over the grease gun any day, though.
So this next one is from Jack Goff. So earlier when I for Virginia's clip where I said it could be a highlight or a blooper, and I was asking if you guys have been on the giving end of missing the broadside of a barn. This clip is missing the broadside of a barn.
Jackson was fighting for his life before we were bandaged. And now God damn! And now everyone's bandaged.
What the fuck?
Oh my god, I am ass!
Jesus Christ, he's Jason Bourne.
Wait, Winters, could you replay that for a second?
Yes, I can.
He shot him dead on.
Yeah.
I don't think so, man. He was pulling
That
some
first shot.
God damn! And now everyone's bandaged.
Oh, dude.
Look! It went right through him.
Oh my god, I am ass!
Great. Oh, fuck.
He pulled some Neo stuff, man. That Doug saved him.
All right, and then
He might have missed all the other shots, but that first one was
this last one is from Endarkenment.
Oh yeah.
was that divinity in the chat.
Oh my.
Absolute butt.
Is that against Mark?
Wow.
It
I don't know why I
happens.
said that.
I wish I could play against people like that, dude.
It happens.
But I also have to say that is some pretty phenomenal trigger discipline because I would shit my pants and just start dumping.
Yeah, that happens. That always seems to happen when you're running the worst kit ever and you're just not prepared. And you're like, son of a bitch. And why couldn't that happen when I had a Panzerschreck or a bazooka?
Or flamethrower or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect example of looking at your map makes a ton of difference.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Like that garrison was red hot. I can't hear it, but I guarantee you, it probably was like sounding like static.
Mhm.
I saw L out of main. I said that against Merc. I don't know why. It's still hard for me to believe regular people play L out of main.
Yeah, and that's one of those things. It's one of those things like just that little bit of mindset, that little bit of just understanding how it works, the mechanics of the game can go such a long way.
Mhm.
You know.
So now, Snow, we'll get into your long-awaited week 2 power rankings. There was a lot of flack that you got for week 1, so I haven't viewed it yet. So this is going to be a live reaction even for me.
It's starting to turn into a curse, I think.
Maybe it was a bad idea doing this.
I think I cursed myself.
But yeah, so this is now the long-awaited Snow's power rankings. I want to emphasize this is Snow's power rankings. I am not involved. If you guys don't like it, so don't come for me. You can go after him in the shit talk server. But
I think you're okay.
But yeah,
Let's
so
see how many people.
I want to see what you guys have to say in the chat, and then we'll go through this together. So let me share my screen. All right. Go ahead and talk through it.
All right. If you can, I'll zoom in. Okay. A little bit of changing. Legion. Now we're going to be calling them Legion for this week. I'm reading the chat. Man, I gotta look over here. Man, they had a really good, impressive win against Merc on I think Saturday. So bumping them up, that was a top 5 team in my last poll. So got to give them some credit. There's not a lot going on, so I'm kind of just using scrims. Hence why HLE is bumped up as well. They had a really impressive 5-0 win against WRTB. So bumping them up. It's WRTB. They're a team that did as good as they did. They didn't even start using RD until midway through last season. So it is what it is. And then we got Taco staying right where they're at. Besides the fluctuation, the top 5, well, really the 3 to 5 can really be interchangeable depending on really who you ask in the map. I think if they all played, it would be a mix-up. Added Ross in here. That was a fuck up by me. I didn't give them credit, but they had played. I was looking into it. They had played a couple teams, at least in the past week. They played 6th and lost, and they played a couple other Aussie teams. But I still would like to see them before I move them up any higher, playing some more European and American teams because you can't just keep feasting on OCE because we really know it's 11th, not TOCF, but TFMC and 6th. First. They're winning. It's not looking pretty, but they're winning. 3-5 is steadily growing up. They're going up. They actually probably could be switched with first, but it is what it is. It's the week. So I guarantee you they keep winning, man. They're going to continue to rise up here. 3-5 is getting real better with the influx of 15 new fucking players that they got. From Berserk or old Berserk, so they're really good. I mean, we went from winning against them every 2 weeks to now it's a fucking battle, and if we fuck up any, we lose the game. So it's been really good to go against them. So hopefully 3-5 isn't too mad, but I think they'll continue to win and they'll continue to rise up. Same with First. They just have the history, man. They have a little bit more history than 3-5, so we'll wait to see, but. I think 3-5 took my criticism against them and fucking did good. They had the 3-2 loss against 6th. Better than we could do. And then 4AD, man, I gotta give it to them. They won good teams. They're winning. They
Speed
beat
run.
3-5. They beat 3-5 just like they beat 3-5 just the same fashion they beat us, man. I mean, it happens, but they're starting to do it a little bit more consistently. I think that they're a team that if you ain't looking out for them, then they'll fucking come and bite you. And then the last spot is us, man. We're losing. We're in a slump, man. We're going through a tough stretch. Should have won the 4 AD game. Should have won the 3-5 game, but it should have, could have, would have, man. I mean, I try to be as unbiased as I can with these rankings, man. If you're losing, then you're dropping. I think I'm gonna keep it at 10. So sorry, I wasn't trying to pander to myself to try to get the other team in there. I couldn't think of another team. So if there is another team to put in that 10th spot, please inform me. But right now, and eighth has a rough, it's not rough, but a difficult week coming up. We go against Legion on tomorrow, and then we got First on Wednesday, and then we got Merc on next Saturday. So we have every opportunity, just like I said, 3-5. We have every opportunity to move up if we choose to. Depends on how we show up and how we play. So that's my rankings. Hopefully it doesn't burn the fucking house down. I think we're pretty even. Let me get live reactions from you two.
Well, I'm just impressed to see us on the list like that. That's pretty neat. I think that's given us a lot more credit than due, but it's still nice to be recognized.
You beat us head to head, man, and I penalized. Last week I penalized WTG because of that. They lost a head to head to the 6th. So I mean, you beat us head to head, flat out beat us. And if we're gonna be up there, then you have to be up there, man.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a good ranking, Snow. I think that's a...
Shout out to Vader, by the way. Sorry. Shout out to Vader. Massive. He made this entire graphic. He's definitely getting hired in our fucking graphics department. This shit looks amazing.
Huge shout out to Vader.
Love that.
All very good teams over in there.
Let me just catch up on the chat if they said anything about.
Do y'all think I have anyone too high, too low? What do you guys think?
No, I just found it interesting dropping the 6th from, what was it? I know you said that they were kind of all interchangeable, but dropping them from, was it 1st last week to now 3rd?
And that's mainly because they haven't played. I mean, they played 3-5 and won 3-2. So if I'm going to give 3-5 credit for the showing that I got to hurt 6th a little bit. And then on top of that, I mean, Legion going out there and beating Merc, and then HLE going out there and 5-0 and WRTB.
Do you still count any weight to the 6th beating the 7th before the 7th splintered?
I mean, if I don't, I mean, who else had they played? Not really. I mean, I think they played Taco. I mean, Taco in 7th is really their two staple wins right now. So yeah, definitely got to give them credit for that.
Yeah, I think you're kind of spot on with what you said between the 1st and 3-5s. I would put 3-5s above the 1st, and funnily enough, because of a loss, I would put 3-5s above the 1st. And the only reason I say that is because so far, 3-5s has been the only team, at least in TFL, to hold the 6th from, not 5-0ing them. Battling the 6th and keeping it to a 3-2, I think is extremely impressive, at least from the 3-5 side.
Yeah, and first to have an opportunity to do that as well. As well. So they haven't played either. So,
I definitely think they're neck and neck.
Exactly. I think
I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah. Like I said, all it's going to take is maybe 3-5 to get a dominant 5-0 win against a really, no offense, but like 4 AD or somebody, or like us or somebody, like a dominant 5-0 win, and that little shit like that can propel them. Same thing with First. Like First comes out, hell, God forbid it, to win. An honorable mention to this list, by the way, is an up and coming team with Rage that I do want to shout out. They have they're a really new team, super new, but they really combined the offense that 3-5 had and the defense and the armor from old Berserk. So, and they got a lot of experienced players. I don't think they're fully a team yet. I think they're a group of guys that are really high level and know how to play. I just don't know if they played enough yet to really be a full team yet. And all it's going to take is them to play more. I mean, hopefully they'll be in the league next season. So I hope to see them in tons of leagues, and hopefully they do really well. We would love another American team to play against. and do bi-weeklies with.
Yeah. So, real quick, just to kind of wrap up the show, because we're now at an hour and 10. Real quick, I just wanted to go through the combat schedule for week 6 in the TFL. And kind of get what you guys have to say about that. Francis, I know it's kind of like an outside looking in. Hopefully, you guys are in TFL for season 2. You know, if we're going to be, and I heard this a lot, and I just wanted to put this out there again. If TFL wants to be considered a top of the line league like TPL and Summit-ish, I only say Summit-ish because I have personal dislikes about the way that Summit is ran, and that comes from my time in the 21st. But anyways, I think what I was getting at with TFL is if they want to be considered a serious league, it needs to have the best teams in there. It already has one of the best in the 6th, but I think now Legion should be in there as well. But
I agree.
What I was getting at, I know, Francis, this is kind of like an outsider looking in, but I'd still like for you to comment on this. I'll share my screen again so you guys can see it. This is the matchups for week 6. So, first off, we have 3-5s, first, 4AD, and the 5th. First is playing the 8th, 4ADs playing 101A, 5IDs playing the 6th, and I'm completely blanking on... Oh, that's 508P. So 508P recently joined TFL because the 21st dropped out. So we'll start off with 3-5s against 508P. What are you guys predicting for that game?
I think victory for Gentle 3-5.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any score prediction?
I'd say, to be honest, 5-0. I wouldn't be surprised. 3-5 with Gentle. They're a well-seasoned team. They know how to play, and yeah, they're well run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would be confident they win 5-0. Or at least they win 5-0,
Yeah.
3-2, 4-1. It's still a win, you know.
Yeah. Sylvia and Snow, what do you guys think?
I see 3-5 being the stronger team as of right now. Having seen what 508 is capable of, though, too, 3-5 is going to have to play it right. I think they're going to have to establish that dominance in order not to have anything creep up on them or let 508 get the better of them in the last half. So it's really going to come down to who's quickest on the draw on that middle point, I think, and then who's able to withstand, I guess, that longevity of the match and see who has better position come time to sum it all up. So.
And like we were speaking earlier, it's gonna really come down to who preps better, you know. If
Mhm.
like they know what the map in advance, who does the better prep, you know. Who practices more the openers and all that stuff, you know. Who does it more? It's really gonna show for all those matchups.
Snow, what do you think?
I think 3-5 is going to win in 50 minutes. 5-0. That's my guess.
Yeah. And then I don't know if they're commenting on it in the chat or not because I'm looking at this screen, obviously. But you guys in the chat still, I'd like to see your predictions as well. Moving on to the 1st versus the 8th. What are your guys' predictions for that one?
That's a good one. That's a good
That
one.
is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
So would you guys, looking at the list as a whole, would you call this potentially the match of the week?
Oh yeah, 100%. That's
Yeah.
a very good match. Yeah.
It is. I would be surprised, or I wouldn't be surprised if it was one of those stalemates there for a minute. I'd like to be a fly on the wall and see how that match goes, just to see it, because I think what it's going to be is who caps the middle and locks it down is going to be the winner there.
Yeah. Well, one thing I actually wanted to touch on real quick is, isn't admin cam supposed to be coming in the next update?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I thought of that because Sylvia, you said being a fly on the wall. Well, now with the next update with the admin cam, you literally can be.
Yeah.
The only difference with that, you have to have a person in the game
Yeah.
It's 49
for
versus
that.
49.
So it would really be 49 v 49 games in that. I will be streaming that game, by the way. So
Yes,
Awesome.
everyone will be able to watch it, at least from my point of view. So I will be streaming that game. It's a Wednesday night game too, a good midweek game. It can my personal reaction to these guys. First is really good. Yeah, they lost a lot of people, but they got like 1 billion members. I'm sure they can pull good players out of the woodwork. So it's a huge game. It's a huge game for a record, and really losing to 4AD kind of took our cushion away.
Yeah,
So
'cause
everyone
I
better
think
come.
I'll come back to this, but I think what are we?
2-2, yeah.
Okay, and then first is 3-1, so it would be big for the 8th to win that and tie them, even though they're in the West, tie them in ranking or at least record. Going on 4AD versus 101A. Sylvia, I'll start with you. How are you feeling about that game?
So it's one of those like we're going against the 8, like we were going against the 8th. We're going to be in our P's and Q's. We are definitely anxious about this one. We know it's going to be we know 101 has definitely made a come up. Their strategy seems to be a lot stronger. They've got some good players. So I think it's going to be a battle for mid again. I don't expect a win or a loss any worse than 3-2. So I'm hoping obviously for a win, but I think it's going to be a solid match either way.
Yeah.
Think you guys got this, Sylvia?
Yeah, let's hope so. I don't want to brag. I don't want to give too crazy of a prediction. It might come back and bite me on the ass.
I know, brother.
And then we'll wrap it up with 5ID versus the 6th.
6.
Yeah.
I got to give it to the 6.
No offense.
6
to
seems
Max.
to be
Yeah, because I think they're 1-3. Who was their win against 5ID?
A 101A
Oh, really? Okay.
last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's shaping up to be a pretty good tail end of the season. I think last week it was easy to see, at least looking at it, who we considered the top 4 teams to be, being 3-5, 6th, 8th, and 1st. But now with 4AD beating the 8th, now it's kind of getting a little murky. I think. I mean, anything can happen. I definitely think the 6th is going to be solidified as the top team. I think 3-5s can hold it out and end up being the 2 seed. But I think it's really kind of a toss-up between the 1st, 8th, and 4AD. I think they're definitely separating themselves from 101A, 5ID, and 508P. For you guys that don't know, it even shows a little disclaimer here. 508P is not 0-4 on their own. They took, I believe, a 0-3 record from the 21st. So there's definitely a lot to see, but they're definitely separating. Those top 4 to 5 teams are definitely separating themselves from the pack. I think of the teams that can climb out of a 1-3 or an 0-4, maybe 101A. 508P has a lot of experience. They were just kind of given the shit end of the stick of starting out at 0-4. But I could definitely see 508P racking up some wins before the season's over.
Yeah, I definitely agree. They definitely are capable of that.
I believe almost of all of these teams, at least like lifespan wise, not saying like the players within, 508P has the most experience. I think they've been around the longest out of all the teams on this list.
I think
You-
first maybe.
Even
was that one?
3-5 and 1st.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, because 3-5s was new when I was already in the 21st for almost a year, and I already knew of 508P because I played against them. I think 3-5. I could be wrong, but 3-5s I think is over a year old, but not as old as 508P. And then the first I really don't know about, because don't they have like over 1,000 members or some shit?
think they're like at 900. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like to me. It's almost like they're treating it like Void. I think Void had like fucking 5,000 members or some stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But just going through some of these reactions.
I agree with the
from-
chat. I think the 6 is going to win in sub 30.
Yeah, I'm catching up in the chat too because, like I said, I'm looking at the screen you guys were, so I wasn't able to keep up live. People are saying, "Where's 7th Cav?" 7th Cav is snubbed.
Bro,
Oh,
listen
that's
to
a
me.
meme.
They
That's
are
a meme.
dog shit. No.
Swap 6, then HLLE. People saying the ranks made sense. 7 Cav, honorable mention.
TFL.
I was gonna
TLF,
join
I
7
think,
cap before the 7.
God,
What?
thank God you didn't. Of course, people are saying this is where we get like around this time, the hour and 20-minute mark is when we get the fucking degenerates in the chat.
Where the fuck is Endartment in this chat, bro?
I don't know. Hold on.
Are
Actually,
you
you
Endartment
guys
in these damn chats,
here,
man?
I'll take care of that.
Do you
Just
guys
give me-
like the new Legion logo? I actually do. I fuck with it. I don't know if you meant it this way, but it looks like it's spelled out Winter War League in the side of the mountain. If you pull up their logo, it looks like WWL in the side of it, and it threw me off when I first saw it. But I think it's just meant to be like mountains in the background. I don't know, Francis, if you noticed this, but if you look at it on the left side.
No, it's Tony that made the logo. Oh yeah, it's true, huh?
Yeah,
Yo,
I like
what
it.
are
I
you
like the
doing?
colors.
The logo is so clean. Tony did such a good
When's
job. to be
General
honest.
Chat
Oh.
coming back? Mute yourself,
Hold on.
Winters.
Fuck you, Snow.
Hey, what's your announcement? What's General Chat coming back? Bro, General Chat is under renovations. I don't know why everyone's begging for my General Chat to open back up. Fuck.
I don't keep up with the memes, but
I
see
can't
this one a lot, so-
I can't have more guys going to you guys. Like my fucking sniper was supposed to be sniping against y'all, and here he is joined y'all.
Oh no.
It happens.
Winter's trying to cosplay Queso. Holy fuck. Yeah, he is. He does look like Queso, but fatter.
All right, I'm trying to talk to Dark. What's going on?
You're fat.
Apparently, okay, whatever. And the fucking sky's blue. Tell me something I don't know. Like, yeah. Well, whoever commented that, your kids are gonna call you by your first name one day, and you're gonna die alone. So,
Hell yeah.
fuck. Where? What did you ask? What was my announcement?
What was your announcement?
Okay, yeah. So I have a rather unfortunate announcement to make. It pains me to say this, and I was trying all day to come up with a good way to say this, but
Fuck you, Dunny.
unfortunately, this will be the last episode that you guys see the air mattress.
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
Let's get one good
And-
fucking insulin session on it.
So it's also most likely going to be the final episode that you see the TV back there that I covered up to try to quell some of the comments. But yesterday, my wife ordered a new bed for our master bedroom. And the bed that's in there now is going to be coming in here. So this air mattress is no longer going to be here. So you guys are now going to have to find something other than the air mattress TV and calling me fat to say, because
Hey, bro.
it's getting old.
How about you lay on it
Right now?
right now?
No.
he said no. So
Well,
did
bro.
you at least opt for a bunk bed or nah?
No. We went for a king size. We were actually at Mattress Firm, which funnily enough, I've never seen anyone go in or out of a Mattress Firm before. I think it's like honestly a storefront for like I don't know, either like drug
Money laundering.
trafficking or something. But anyway, I walked into the Mattress Firm and we're trying out like Tempur-Pedics or whatever. And
Tempur-Pedic.
yeah,
You
dude.
need something, bro. You need a weight limit bed.
Yeah.
Extra supports.
Snow, have you? Oh my fucking god! So you want to say that shit to me, right? But and you're keeping up with the chat. But again, look at the comment at 10:33. Snow, are you vaping hot dog juice? I can answer that for you. Yes, he is. He is vaping straight glizzy water.
I'm about to show my feet on cam, bro.
Yeah,
Y'all better start donating.
Let's see that fungus, dude. Let's see the fucking crust.
So set the stage for when you walked into this mattress firm. Like, you walk in, there's not a car in the parking lot.
No, so
You open the door and it dings, and then you're like looking at the back, like, is anybody gonna help me?
Yeah,
And you see
so-
a guy who's like wearing a respirator and like, in like
So-
a full hazmat or something. Like,
so
walk me through that.
we walked in, right, and there was like this old lady that was like vaping. like she's approaching us with a vape in her hand, and she was like, "What are you guys here for?"
Bouncy.
No, she was like, "What are you guys here for?" I'm like, "The fuck do you mean? What am I here? I'm here for a new dog. Like, you have nothing but mattresses. That's literally all you sell, and you're asking me what I'm here for. Like, fuck, lady, I don't know." And she was like, "What's your budget?" And I was like, "Yep." I don't I don't know. And so of course she takes us to like the most expensive shit. And I'm like, yeah, can't afford this, but I'll still lay on it and pretend. And dude, like I don't know. We ended up settling on a nice king size bed. So like I said, the one
You
that's
need
in there right now.
California King.
Well, if you find any lumpy spots, it's the drugs, it's the cocaine in there.
Yeah. Snow. All right, so I have another announcement, guys. This is going to be Snow's last episode.
Brother, bullying is fine. I'm just reading the chat. They're saying it, not me. They're calling you a fat fuck. It's not me. I promise.
Yeah, show us your toe jam. You
Bro.
got janky toenail pointing upwards. I thought we were watching Snow's feet the whole time.
I was honestly surprised there wasn't more comments about my hat. Or
Yeah, I mean, you
cowboy.
definitely got some.
You did early on.
And Darkament said, "Who's this fucking LARPer from 4AD? Take that helmet off. We're LARPing World War II, not Modern Warfare." Dude, someone said that Snow has foot lettuce.
Yeah.
Francis, they want a face reveal as well.
Come on, brother.
They already know how it looks like.
Brick, it's right here.
No, come on, Frenchman.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's the motherfucker that beats me. Hell yeah.
Dude, giving people what they want, bro. We
You look
love
like your
it.
name's Tyler.
You said Francis is too sexy to show himself on camera. Me and
That's
him do
great.
male stripping. That's from a document.
That's great.
Did you say he looks like his name is Tyler?
Yeah, you look like a Tyler.
I don't know. Is Tyler like a French or like a not a French?
Hell
Is that like a popular name? Like,
No.
Hold on. So we're not LARPing Modern Warfare. I've got this one. So here we go.
do you just keep a collection of helmets?
I have a lot of things. I have a lot of things. I've got the flag, you know.
So I mean, normally anytime like I wore helmets, it was because like I had to wear a helmet to protect myself from getting hurt. Being part of the extra Chromie Homie gang. But what is the inspiration behind your collection of helmets?
Well, it's one of those things. I've always had a fascination with history, military. So I've got the German style helmet. That actually was a ballistic 3A helmet with third generation night vision. So that whole thing. And then my girlfriend just brought me this, which is one of the Afghani Afghani
Fucking Vader, bro.
sheepherders. Yeah, so I have a fascination with just about any conflict or anything. So I'm a prepared citizen, born and raised in America. So
All right,
God bless
folks,
us, we can have that.
who we voting for? Let's keep this shit controversial.
Oh God, Jesus!
Hell yeah.
That just reminded me of that meme where he's in the fucking Wakanda the guy, and he's like, "Oh, I have 5 seconds to say something." He's like, "You gotta tell the truth," and then he starts dancing. That's what that just sounded like. It's like we're gonna get canceled on the air. It's about to be our last one.
Francis, give us a thumbs up.
Dude, my thumbs are fucked up, dude.
No, you know what that is? You know what that is holding the fucking controller and gripping it down.
Brother.
Dislocated.
Dude!
How did you do that?
I don't know, dude. When I was young.
You just dislocate your thumbs and you
someone shut a door when I was like in kindergarten, right on my hands. And
I love that.
Hey, Winters
fingers.
looking like a morbidly obese Bill. Oh my god, I can't speak. Too much drinking. Winters looking like a morbidly obese Bill Belichick over here with that hoodie.
In Darkman, in Darkman, I'm getting your stupid ass on this podcast with Bark, and we're not even going to talk about how let loose. It's just going to be me shitting all over you.
I don't know, brother. I think they're gonna
fuck.
you.
No, fuck both you guys.
Silva, you look like you work at fucking Home Depot selling concrete mix, bro.
That's right. Guess so ice to an Eskimo, brother. I am in sales. I do work in sales, so.
Yeah, you have a face for it.
Snow's last spring still at work with that stutter.
So last thing before I let you guys go, because we're now pushing an hour and a half. I do think that this is what we just did. This last 10 minutes is definitely something that I would kind of like to do. Is maybe do an episode that's not so much geared around Hell Let Loose. Snow, I'll talk to you about it. And then also use that Discord, like I said, to put suggestions in there to talk about or bring up stuff that you would want to see in the show. But I think just having a kickback, talking about whatever, and it not always being so much about the game is something that I would like to do. Yeah, I'm Queso. I wish, bro. I wish I had that kind of following, because then I wouldn't have to work a full-time job. I would just do this.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of this, man. It's like we're putting faces to people's names, really. That's why we like seeing your face. Fuck, dude. I know I'm an ugly piece of shit that's fat, but
I never would have thought Francis was as hot as he is.
I did. But it's good. Just like we're rivals in the fucking game, and then coming out here and we're just joking around and fucking funny. So it's good. At least we don't talk for an hour and a half by ourselves.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
I really appreciate Sylvia, Francis, Snow. I appreciate you kind of co-hosting this with me and helping me out with it. I appreciate everyone that tuned in, whether they're still here now in the chat or have tuned in and just had to dip out for whatever.
The chat got more bumping when Francis turned his camera on. This might be a new meta that we need to do.
Yeah.
Winters and Snow, take off your shirt and do jumping jacks. Dude, if you do it, I will do it.
I'm not doing it.
Dude, a truffle shuffle?
Dunny, I will start doing shit like that if people start donating to the fucking page.
We need to do this on Twitch, bro. Way you can donate.
I think I can link. I might be able to actually link Twitch to this as well, like I did YouTube.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you guys are willing to fucking donate, I will. I'm sure Snow can suck a fucking golf ball through a garden hose for $5. So,
I can do a lot.
Yeah,
for
but
free.
We can start expanding. So that's something that I was actually thinking about today. Because I enjoy doing this, and I don't do it for the money, but obviously the money in anything is nice. There are two, and maybe you guys have some suggestions for this as well. There are two requirements for me to become a YouTube partner and monetize the account. One of the two goals I'm not worried about hitting because I'm already almost halfway there just through a month. So one of the goals is you have to have a total of 1,000 total watch hours in a 365-day window. And just after last week's episode, I think I'm at like 440. So, and that's only after 1 month. I'm almost halfway there. The other one seems to be a more lofty goal, which I would have to find ways to branch out, is I have to get 1,000 subscribers. And we just crossed 200, was it yesterday or today? I think, Snow, you said before the show we hit 201. So I definitely appreciate the 201 that have already done it, but that's 800 more people that I need to get subscribed. And the at least console side of Hell Let Loose comp isn't 1,000 people big. Even though teams have, like the first has fucking 1,000 people on their own, almost. It seems like, I need to find ways to branch out and get.
Well, I want to do one night where we take like a rep from HLE or 7th or Legion, I'm sorry, or another American console team, and then put them on here with a really good like WTH, like a PC, a great PC comp team, and kind of like talk about back and forth the differences and how the ways we play.
Yeah, that's
and
actually
some of the.
Go ahead. Sorry. Well, what I was going to say was that was something I didn't think about was branching out and trying to get in contact with some PC comp communities.
Francis is going to be playing a win this season.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Maybe.
Looking forward to it. I'm dog shit with mouse and keyboard, man. I fucking played. Yeah, what game was it? I think I played Arma when I had an Xbox, and man, I could not get it down. I played DayZ with it too, and I just could not get it down. So I used to be a PC only gamer, and now, man, the fucker's expensive. But I was thinking maybe like we bring in like Rasbora, another good guy I talk to a lot. So
yeah,
we got there,
and there's CD from Summit is a good shout too. He did hosting the finals.
Yeah, Dunny said, I'm unsubscribing, eat shit Winters. Like I said, I hope you die alone and your kids call you by your first name. And
we got 3 more subscribers while we're doing this. So.
Dunny, I hope you walk into your wife getting pounded by like 6 dudes.
I'd watch.
What else? Brick said there's not even 1,000 people in our community. Yeah, I know. I covered that. That's why I need to find ways to branch out. But yeah, I mean, that's all I have for you guys. We're now almost an hour and 40 minutes, so I appreciate you guys being here with me. I appreciate everyone in the chat. Still kind of 50-50 on if we're going to do an episode next week. I have my parents coming in town, so I won't be available, but I might see if there's a way that, Snow, you can run it on your own. If not, we'll just delay it until
y'all about to get Snow's happy hour. Y'all about to get Shit Talk Live.
Shit Talk Live.
Well, I'm gonna take that fucking Shit Talk server and bring all y'all motherfuckers in here. We're gonna have Divinity. We're gonna have fucking
Bart.
Raccoon
I know
Pussy.
Bart wants to be in here.
Bart. We're gonna play a game. Oh yeah. Y'all ain't ready. We might not have a Discord, and we might not have a podcast when we're done.
Yeah, complete demonetization.
Yeah.
Beef
Let Loose episode 2. We're finally doing it.
I feel like all we have to do, if you want crazy, just pay attention to the People's League general chat. That right there gets out of hand quick.
Yeah,
brother, you're not even in Shit Talk. Dude, that place is a paradise to Shit Talk.
Brother, I can't even keep up with half the shit going on in my own server. I can't keep up with y'all. Shit.
Good luck tomorrow, Snow. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
All right, absolute last thing. Happy Rounded said, Francis, if you see this, check Discord. I'm sorry in advance.
Oh no.
Share your screen, Francis.
How do I do that?
I don't know.
If at least for you should be able to. Right next to the leave button, you should see a share. I don't know if I don't know if it's just for the host, or if you guys can do it as well.
Does it work?
Yeah, we can see
Snow
it.
likes men. What a
Tells me
random
when
fucking
play.
comment.
How can I see the comments?
They're on YouTube. So I have my iPad up. And I'm just
Well, you can
rewatching.
look at the chat from YouTube on Riverside.
Oh.
Like some piano music. Okay, is that our outro?
So you see on the okay. Well, if you go back to Riverside, you can look at the chat as well.
I'm so bad with this.
Right
shit.
underneath people on the right side, you see chat. Farther to the right, yep, and then chat. You're gonna have to and then live stream chat.
Francis is secretly getting a blowing.
You're gonna have to scroll a little while because it's gonna start back at the beginning.
Ah.
Yo, Dunny, shut up. I'm using my phone, bro. I'm using the iPad to read the chat. Check the Carfax. Okay. Yeah, this chat is fucking nuts.
Snow is gay.
How much wood could a wood... Dude, I'm not reading that. I'm from North Carolina.
All right, well, I'll let you guys go. I appreciate y'all being here.
Yeah.
All right, gents.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey,
Charles.
Yep.
you have a great night.